I honestly stumbled upon this podcast because I suffered a heartbreaking loss in our office fantasy football league in playoffs. I started playing NBA DFS to take my mind off the depression. I try to listen to the judge every morning, and the best attribute about him is the techniques he teaches us. He doesn't just pick between players, he educates us on solid fundamentals. Even when I'm not able to listen to the pod, I trust I can still cash because of the strategies he's taught us. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much for that glorious review, EPAB2350. And that's right. We don't just choose between players on this podcast, not the Beeler Booker podcast. We are not Roto. If you want one of those podcasts, go listen to it. We have a big show in store for you. Only an hour to do it in. Let's start the show. This episode of GG's Courtroom is sponsored by Draft, a daily fantasy app where your chances of winning are almost 3 times better than on FanDuel or DraftKings. On Draft, it's draft day every day. You can do a simple snake draft for one day whenever you want. Drafts take just minutes to complete. Download Draft now. Be sure to enter the promo code DFBPOD when you download to get a 100% deposit bonus. And with that, we are off. Welcome to the show for Monday, March 27th, 2017. We are coming down the home stretch of the NBA regular season. The playoffs start April 15th. Only have some teams have less than 10 games left in the regular season. So we have almost made it through the long regular season. Then we can start a glorious playoffs. And again, if you haven't played NBA DFS in the playoffs, the first couple rounds are a ton of fun, especially the first round. It's fantastic. No more tanking, no more sitting out games. Everyone's, all the best teams are playing. All the star players are getting big minutes, and it's a lot of fun. But we must still find a way to achieve glory these last 10 games of the regular season and finish strong. While other podcasts, their hosts are falling asleep on you on the air and saying absurd comments and putting you to sleep, quite honestly. Hopefully the judge will keep you entertained these last, 18, 19 days before the playoffs do start. By the way, welcome to the show. I'm your host, the judge, Daniel Green. You can find me on Twitter at DanielAGreen1. And we have a big show in store for you today. And as you guys know, we are moving to Dash Radio very soon. And I got to start keeping these shows to an hour. So I'm doing my best. And I'm getting a late start today. It is currently 4:29 Eastern in the morning. If you're new to the show, the judge is... I'm a weird guy. I do these shows super late because I obviously still have a real job. This podcast does not pay me money. As some of you think I'm, I've hit it big with this podcast. That is not quite accurate. Although I think we're trending in the right direction. That is clear. But as of now, I lose a fortune on this podcast, and I do it super late because I have to go to work, like everyone else. So it's 4:29 a.m. I got to finish this in an hour, and a lot to get to. We talk about Chambers, the Chambers Bracket Challenge, of course, Dream Killers and Dream Lovers. We talk about the new website. Talk about Monday's disgusting 6-game slate. So lots to get to. But before we get into all of the glory that is this podcast, please do 3 things for the judge. If I can be here after 72 games of the NBA regular season, you can do these 3 little things for the judge. 1, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. A lot of you I know listen to the podcast, but you don't subscribe, or a lot of you have listened or maybe subscribed but didn't rate. Do all 3 of those things, my friends. Rate, review, and subscribe. Like I read the glorious review to start the show. That was a very nice review that EPAB left me. By the way, this is entirely true. Over the last 2 or 3 days, there was not only and I don't know if these were 2 different podcasts or it was the same crappy podcast. One of the hosts actually fell asleep on it. And the second one, the guy actually said, this is a quote, "I hate when the slate dictates who I play." I'm still in shock over that comment. Clearly, you don't know what you're talking about. Every slate dictates who we play. So I would like that person to come contact me, whoever made that comment, because I don't know how, if you're actually hosting a podcast for DFS, if you make that kind of comment, I mean, how knowledgeable can you actually be? That was half shocking and yet half, sadly, I'm not surprised by some let's call, I don't want to call him a bozo, but I just did, I guess. Some bozo, whoever made that comment. Anyway, rate, review, and subscribe. Number 2, please, where is it? Oh, here we go. Support the sponsor, right? So download the app Draft. And when you do, use the promo code DFBPOD. I know a lot of you have downloaded it, and a lot of you then tell me, Judge, I cannot find out where do you put the promo code. If you can't find out where to put it, just tweet at me and let me know your username on the app, and I will make sure you get the deposit bonus and the sponsor's happy with me. I have a meeting with the sponsor in the early April, so let's try to get as many people to download the app as possible. It's an awesome app. It's basically doing snake drafts every day instead of the grind of DFS. You get to pick 2 guards, 2 forwards, 1 center. It's real easy to do, and I guarantee it's a lot of fun. And plus, you can just download the app. Try a couple contests out for free. If you don't like it, don't put any money in. If you do like it, then start cleaning up and taking people down. You can challenge me on there. I am the judge on there. And like I typically do about 5 to 10 drafts, snake drafts on that app under my desk every day. Scared my boss is going to come in. So it's easy money for me if you want to challenge me. And lastly, so we got rate, review, and subscribe. Download the app. Where's the last one? Oh, and when I tweet out the show to the world, please retweet it out. Very important to hit that RT button and retweet whenever I tweet out the links to the show. March doing this podcast is a grind, as brutal as it is. The podcast itself is not a grind. It's just all the stuff that goes with it, the administrative stuff behind the scenes. And also NBA DFS. It's in March, it's hard. Everyone a lot of people are fed up with NBA, or they're waiting for MLB to start, which I guess makes sense if which, by the way, MLB, the Doppler radar is coming in about a week and a half. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And don't worry, this show, we'll talk a little bit MLB DFS too. I'm not sure how much, but if that's something you guys want me to talk about more, just make sure you just let me know. Because obviously, a lot of this podcast, I go off of what you guys want to hear, what you guys want me to talk about. So if you guys want more baseball, we can do more baseball. I will obviously be playing a lot of MLB DFS. So once that starts, that will be a lot of fun. All right, so do those 3 things: retweet, download the app Draft with the promo code DFBPOD, and then rate, review, and subscribe. So in terms of the sponsor, we do remember every Wednesday we put up a new Judges Chambers bracket on the app Draft, which is glorious. It's a 7-day bracket challenge to the death, somewhat similar to the Chambers bracket that we'll be talking about in a few minutes, that the judge started and unleashed via Twitter early or late Sunday night. But every Wednesday, late Tuesday night, every Wednesday morning, Draft. If you open up the app, the Judges Chambers new contest is up there every Wednesday. $10 entry fee, 128 spots. And I want to give a quick shout out. A guy sent me a really nice email. He did not want the celebrity that comes with the podcast, so he didn't want me to say his name. But he said just call him T. But T is in the final 4 of the draft, of the last draft bracket challenge. So congrats. And the final 4 takes place Monday. So congrats to him. Because remember, the thing about those contests, they're not private. So I can't just tweet out the links to people who listen to the show or people who follow me on Twitter. Basically, a lot of roto trash people, a lot of sleepy grinders. All the rotos in the world are free to join. All 78 roto websites. Anyone can join. So it's very important that I want one of our followers, obviously, to take that tournament down every week. So let's all root for quote unquote T. I think he told me he's from Boston too. So we'll call him T from Boston. Congrats to you, and good luck in the Final 4 on Monday. All right, so let's talk. Let's go to Chambers. 2 Chambers segments on this show, which is very exciting. So as I was talking about, I think for last week and a half or so, since once the real NCAA tournament started. By the way, my Wisconsin Badgers, what a heartbreaking loss. On Friday, just dream killer. Man, painful. But in light of the real NCAA tournament, I thought it'd be only fitting for us to have a Judges Chambers set up like the NCAA tournament. A nice bracket challenge. And also, the thing that would be cool about it is the bracket challenge is head-to-head, right? I mean, if you enter regular Chambers, it's basically like a GPP. It's a tournament. So the bracket challenge that I'm setting up and now have launched is a head-to-head competition on FanDuel, 64 spots. On DraftKings, there are 32 spots. I unleashed all the brackets via Twitter, like I said, late Sunday night, I think. And they will be up via my new website, which I am also unleashing on early Monday morning for the world to see. There'll be a link on the new website. And again, the new website is dgcourtroom.com, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. So you'll be able to go to dgcourtroom.com, and there'll be a link right on there that says I think judges chambers brackets or something like that. Really easy. Click on there, and there'll be a link that will get you to the bracket. So if you want to see, because I think I tweeted out only like each individual region. So if you want to see the full bracket, you can just go to dgcourtroom.com and click on the correct link. But so it was not easy to put this tournament together. It took a lot of time. I want to give a shout out to Josh Forler, who helped me out behind the scenes, helped me put the brackets together for FanDuel and DraftKings. And like I said, the demand for FanDuel was it was just ridiculously high. I mean, if we've had over 900 people play in FanDuel Chambers this year, which is pretty amazing. I think we're probably going to hit over 1,000 before the year's out. And again, if you've been listening to this podcast and you haven't played in Chambers yet, it is time. We only have 15 or 16 days of the regular season left to get in there. And if it fills up too fast for you, just send me a tweet, and I will do my best to make sure you get in. But for this Chambers head-to-head bracket madness, I just couldn't get everyone in, guys. It was impossible. Now, DraftKings, the demand wasn't as high, and it just hasn't been this year. We have more FanDuel players. But even on DraftKings, we couldn't get everyone in either. But on DraftKings, it was only 32 people made the cut, and on FanDuel, 64. Kind of like the real tournament. The selection process and seeding was grueling, but it was super objective. I mean, hell, like the judge himself. I'm a 4 seed on DraftKings. We basically based everything off of your performance in the actual chambers this year. So obviously, the better you did in chambers, the higher your seeding was, and you had to follow the rules. I told you guys what the rules were to enter numerous times in every podcast last week. So if you didn't follow the rules, you might not have made the cut as well. If you have any questions, though, feel free to reach out to me. Unfortunately, I was hoping to do a couple of wild card spots and have a couple of play-in games, but just administratively, it's not going to happen. It's too complicated to do because the brackets are complete. So I think I tweeted out something about having some wild card spots, and I apologize for that because we're not going to be able to do it. But I want to give a quick shout out and talk about each of the regions because it's very exciting. Oh, by the way, I don't know if some of you caught this. On Sunday, I tweeted out a quick little announcement with a glorious song, One Shining Moment, which I'm not sure who was singing. Some people have claimed the judge attempted to sing One Shining Moment with some silly lyrics. I'm not. It wasn't me, so I'm not sure who was singing that song, but someone was. It is a good song, though. But I think it's only fitting that we acknowledge the top seeds who have qualified and who were selected for the Judges Chambers, FanDuel, and DraftKings Bracket Challenge. So let's start out with FanDuel, guys. I want to give a shout out just to the top seeds in each of the regions. So, Jeremiah, congrats to you, my friend. You were the number 1 seed in Magic Mountain region. The judge salutes you. In the same region, the number 2 seed, Slappy DFS. Followed by the number 3 seed, the Squad God. And finally, the number 4 seed, RZ73. It's only an hour show, guys, so I can only give a shout out to the top 4 seeds in each bracket. But by the way, there is no easy matchup. Everyone who qualified and was selected is a top-notch DFS player. So, you know how in the real NCAA tournament, a 16 seed never beats a 1 seed? That could easily happen here. Even the 16 seeds are really good players. Remember, let's say you haven't played a lot in chambers, you probably don't have a lot of results. So if you qualified and you haven't been playing a ton in chambers, that's good. That means you're a scary matchup for whoever you are facing, man. So everyone in there is a talented player. Don't think you have an easy matchup if you're a high seed, because you don't. Next region on FanDuel, the NASCAR region. I wish Rusty Wallace himself was here to narrate the top seeds for this one. The judge takes down the number 1 seed in this region on FanDuel. Number 2 seed, Fucking Fantasy. Oh, that's a strong 2 seed, my friends. Number 3 seed, Charismatic Enigma. I think he goes by at Berserko on Twitter. Very talented player. Number 4 seed, Armando Cosme. Tough bracket, NASCAR bracket. Man, that's a tough one. Let's go to the standing in the corner region. Wes Matthews would be very proud of this region. So would Roberson. So would Harkless. So would Dragic. If you go judging by Sunday's results, Dragic. Well, how bad of a game did Dragic have? We'll get to that in Dream Killers. Don't worry about it. So the number 1 seed in the standing in the corner region, MG Fresh. Congrats to you, my friend. Number 2 seed, WTBA. By the way, his Twitter handle is not at WTBA. It is at ChiliCough20. I learned that the hard way. The number 3 seed, Matt Millions. And the number 4 seed, Vinsanity07. And finally, on FanDuel, the final region, the Bumble, Stumble, and Fumble region. Oh, this region is stacked, my friends. It really is. Number 1 seed. Where is it? It is Nesto at I Am Legend on Twitter. Number 2 seed, Down Luck. I think that goes at Derek Ismail. I think is his Twitter handle. Number 3 seed is, where is it? Thal0717, and the 4 seed, Bad and Notions. So it's all I have time to give shout outs to on the podcast, but I really do mean it. Congrats to everyone who made it. It's a good accomplishment, and it's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, on DraftKings, like I said, only 2 regions, only 32 players. In the Tin Man region, make Anthony Davis proud. Make Sleepy Drummond proud. Derek Ismail takes the number 1 seed there. The number 2 seed is Australia 83. The 3 seed is Too Tall Jamal, and the 4 seed is the Judge. I told you, I'm only a 4 seed here because look, a lot of times I'm playing a lot of my money on FanDuel. Sometimes this year I've not even been able to get over to DraftKings Chambers to change my lineup. So I only got a 4 seed. Very tough first round matchup. All right, in the this is my favorite region out of all of them, at the real CJ Miles region. And by the way, whenever I tweet out something about CJ Miles and I put at the real CJ Miles, a couple of you will always come back and be like, Judge, no, that's the wrong. You're tweeting at the wrong person. No, I'm not. Just check out at the real CJ Miles. That is who the correct person. So in that region, the 1 seed, What Up Doe 88. Number 2 seed, MG Fresh. Number 3 seed, C Packham 007. I think that guy's an attorney like me. So I don't know how he has the time to play DFS, but congrats to him. Number 4 seed, Superhero for Life. So congrats to all you guys. Again, to everyone who made it, and even to the people who didn't, man. If you're pissed you didn't make it, don't be mad. Like it was brutal putting that thing together, and I had to leave out people that pains me. One reason why I didn't want to do that stupid thing was just the selection process, and I didn't want to piss anyone off. So yeah, please do not be mad at the judge. And if you are mad, let me know, and I'll make it up to you somehow. All right, so next steps for the tournament. The tournament is going to start Wednesday, March 29th. I think it's only fitting that you guys have a couple days to soak it in, soak in the bask and the glory. Also, I want to give you guys a couple days to practice and play some head-to-heads. It's a different skill. If you've been playing like tournaments and cash games, or maybe only tournaments here, I don't know what you're playing. But if maybe you haven't been playing head-to-heads, I want to give you a couple days to practice and play some head-to-heads because it is a different skill. You basically tournaments. You want upside. Take down a tournament. When you're playing a head-to-head, it's similar to a cash game to some extent. You want more safety, but you still take a little bit of risk. It's difficult. You gotta be. It's definitely takes time to learn how to be a really good head-to-head player. So at least you'll have 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, to kind of figure it out if you haven't played head-to-head before. Now, if you made the tournament and somehow cannot make it and cannot play, please let me know immediately, because I have a list of about over 100 people on FanDuel who want in. On DraftKings, I still have a list of I think 20 people or so who want in. So please let me know if you can't make it, or for whatever reason you can't play. But again, starting Wednesday, March 29th. This is how it's going to work. You're going to receive an email or a DM from me, or both from me, regarding these instructions on Monday. But the instructions are going to say you're going to send $5 to a PayPal address. I'm going to tell you what the address is. That's going to be the entry fee. The prize money will be as follows on FanDuel, and this is mostly for pride. We don't need to take each other's money. We want to take RotoTrash's money. That's what we want to take down. So it's only $5 entry fee. On FanDuel, the winner will ultimately get $160. Second place, $80. Third place, $50. Fourth place, $30. On DraftKings, the winner will get $80. Second place will get $40. Third place, $30. And fourth place, $10. Only the final four will cash. But it's more about pride for this, and just think it's gonna be fun for all of us to do. So how this will take place is on Wednesday. The higher seed is going to create a free head-to-head contest and challenge the lower seed. You have 2 days to figure this out. Even the trained monkey can create a free entry head-to-head contest. It's super easy to do. It literally takes 15 seconds. And then at the end of the night, the winner will just send me a screenshot, whoever won, of the score of the matchup. I will update the brackets, and we will go on from there. And it will take place, starting Wednesday, and we'll go every day. The next round will take place. Obviously, DraftKings is going to finish before Wednesday. So that's it. Any questions? Feel free to tweet me at DanielAGreen1, or check out the new website and email me at dgcourtroom.com. And that is it. Congrats again to those of you who made it. And good luck. It should be fun. In terms of the new website, so if you go to dgcourtroom.com, it's going to be up at some point early Monday. It's really just a kind of a soft launch. I think like next season, it'll really be up humming, and we'll get it up to its full capacity. But I just wanted to get something up this year that kind of goes in line with what I'm trying to do for the show. So give it a meander. Look around. Nothing. I mean, whatever. Just check it out. Any feedback on that, highly appreciated. I was going to do a premium content, but I'm super torn on charging anyone money for stuff. And also, if I am going to charge money, I want to make sure it's something in line with the show, with the podcast, super unique that all the other crappy websites and stuff and other podcasts or whatever charge you for. So I'm still working on different things to offer for the premium services. I have a lot of good ideas, but nothing that I want to start end of March, early April. So, this NBA season, not much time left. So we'll probably kick off the premium content next season. But if there's something that you would like me to do, please let me know for next season, probably in terms of premium content. I do have a donate button on there though. So look, if you do want to support the show, because like I've mentioned, it's a brutal grind. And I probably do. I don't make really a dime off the podcast. I actually lose a lot of money, and I probably have over $1,000 in expenses just on website and microphones and audio and all kinds of other stuff. If you want to donate, support the show that way, feel free, but no pressure. And I do not want to force anyone into, paying the judge any money. But the donate button is there, and it is much appreciated. All right, let's hop into the regular Chambers. And after all the nonsense, you're probably like, Judge, what is Chambers? Well, Chambers is only the hottest DFS tournament in the world. The best players gather from the universe to create against one another. On FanDuel, normally, earlier in the year, we had 3 every night on FanDuel, 20 people each. Lately, we've only had two of them running a night, 20 people each. On DraftKings, we had at its peak, we had one every night with 50 spots. Lately, I've been having like 30, 35 spots because demand has gone down a little bit. Actually, on FanDuel, it really hasn't, but on DraftKings, it has a little bit, which late in the season, it does make some sense. So I note that on Saturday, let's see. So where are we? Oh, yeah. So on Sunday, there was no DraftKings Chambers because it didn't fill. And again, that is shame on you, all of you out there. If you notice that any Chambers is not full, you gotta feel free to let me know and tweet at me. And then it's my job to retweet out the link. Now, some days, especially the weekends, is tough. If I'm not around, if I'm out and about doing errands, I'm out walking with the bailiff. I might not see it in time either. So I didn't even see it didn't fill. I was pretty surprised. I think we only had like 28 out of 30 spots filled up. So no DraftKings Chambers on Sunday. Also, only had one of them FanDuel Chambers on Sunday because FanDuel's, we'll talk about them in Dream Killers. They're buffoons. The people running Draft or FanDuel are buffoons. They're absolute morons. Like, they came up with this great concept of DFS and a great site, but in terms of every decision they make, it's they basically tailor every decision towards the high money, the sharks, the professionals, the people who are spending, doing this for, professionally, and the regular player, the regular consumer, they screw over with every decision they made. So what they do on Sunday, they had a 3:30 p.m. lineup block, a 3:30 p.m. Eastern main slate, cut off the 2 late games, which were delicious games of New Orleans, Denver, and Portland Lakers. And I basically think they did that because they had their live final. So why, like, 99.9% of the people who didn't make that, whatever that live final that was, had to suffer the consequences of that, and play a crappy 3:30 p.m. lineup lock slate, cutting out the 2 late games. No freaking clue. But because of that, with the timing and everything was bizarre, I only opened up 1 FanDuel Chambers on Sunday. It's just an idiotic, moronic decision by FanDuel, and not surprising one bit, because they really don't know what the hell they're doing over there. But I'm feeling negative. I'm feeling negativity. I can't, before we get into the winners for Chambers on Saturday and Sunday, I can't feel negative. I need something to lift me up, something to get the show back on track. I think I know what can do it. Hold on 1 second. Where is it? Much better. The Chambers theme music. Oh, it always cheers me up. And by the way, I wish there's a better way to make this sound right now so you guys could hear it better. I'm still working on that. Don't worry about it. But as some of you may know now, this music right here, this is Lenny Kravitz. It's called Chambers. It's instrumental, though, only. Copyright issues. All right. I want to give a shout out to the Chambers winners for Saturday and Sunday. In case you haven't noticed, man, there is a late comer who's on a legendary run to end the regular season on FanDuel. He's relatively new to Chambers. I don't know where he's been all year, but he won back-to-back nights, Saturday and Sunday. I think he's the 7th player this year to win back-to-back nights. Maybe it's either the 6th or 7th. MK Knutson, 033. Congrats, man. The judge salutes you. Put up a score of 344 on Sunday. Sunday was not a high-scoring day, although you did have a couple guys like Ariza and Lou Williams go nuts. But that's impressive. He's been on a good run, so congrats. Another winner, Blaxican DFS. Blaxican DFS. Congrats to you. Let's do DraftKings. They're winners too. On Saturday. This is the first time all year it's happened. Just kidding. I don't think it is. I think it's the second time. Maybe third. A tie for first. Nelly Bixby, 74. Nelly Bixby, 74. And What Up Doe, 88. What Up Doe, 88 is a number 1 seed in the DraftKings tournament. Congrats to you guys. On Sunday, CME Fly 80 took down DraftKings Chambers. No, my bad. That's not Sunday. There was no. I'm testing you. That was a trick. That was he took third place on DraftKings Chambers on Saturday. So congrats to everyone who cashed this weekend in Chambers. I salute all of you. On Monday, we'll be back at it. And by the way, I'm also getting a lot of questions if I'm going to do an MLB Chambers. Undecided. I'm not sure. If that's something you guys would want me to do, let me know and we can talk about it. I can't remember. Last year, DFS was illegal in New York, so basically didn't have any of that stuff. I think 2 years ago, I think we did a little bit of MLB DFS for a few months. I think before I'm not even sure. I'm pretty sure we had Chambers for a little while before it became illegal in New York. But something potentially we could do. All right, let's get into man. This Sunday slate was disgusting, and Monday slate might even be worse. But we got to get into it, right? I mean, this is an Emmy-nominated segment, so we can't just skip over this segment. I feel it would be a disservice to everyone. So, let's get to it. What is this segment called? You guys know it. I hope you guys are doing this with me at home. It is called Dream Killers and Dream Lovers. Man, so this slate, first of all, it was a nightmare from the start because FanDuel, I told you, they had to be absolute buffoons. You don't cut out, first of all, who on a Sunday is just sitting around at home at 3:30 p.m. for a 3:30 lineup block? It's just moronic. A 6 p.m. lineup block is hard enough to do on a weekend, a weekday, on any time. What? Think we're all just going to stop our lives to watch? What are we going to all watch this live final that FanDuel had going? Just a dream killer. I mean, and also cutting out Pelicans, Denver, and Portland Lakers. By the way, both games ended up sucking, but on paper, those should have been great games. So FanDuel, dream killer. Isaiah Thomas. This is the epitome of a one-trick pony, and it's almost why his price. I mean, it's why his price has to drop before we can play him. 30 points. Guess how many FanDuel points? 31. That's right, 31. And that's guys like that. I mean, DeMar DeRozan actually, since Lowry's went out, is actually stumbling and bumbling into some rebounds and assists. But when Lowry's in there, he's a one-trick pony. Wiggins, all these guys. That's why if you're super scoring dependent, it's very hard to play guys like that. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, you would think, wow, 30 actual points, great game. In real life, maybe, but in DFS, it's really not enough. Now his price is dropping, so he obviously didn't kill you if you played him, but that's a dream killer for me, in my opinion. Giannis had a couple of really good games, like in the last week, but he went back to sucking on Sunday again in DFS. In real life, he was still fine. But this Bulls-Bucks game, very surprising, man. Bulls will not go away for that 8th seed. I thought when Wade went down, they were probably not going to make it, and what are they tied with Miami right now for that final 8 spot? The Bulls had a nice win over the Bucks. The Bucks have been destroying the Bulls this year. I think they blew them out the last 2 times they played. It was like a massacre, and Giannis killed the Bulls. So he was an elite play going into the slate, but only had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. With his over 10K price tag, did not get it done. Avery Bradley, I barely played on this slate because I was out. I was out with the bailiff, and I just couldn't have time to get ready for a 3:30 p.m. lineup block. But Avery Bradley playing, I took a shot and played some Jaylen Brown, and Avery Bradley playing. Jaylen Brown still did okay. He got like 17 FanDuel points, but obviously with Avery Bradley playing, he went back to the bench and hurt Isaiah Thomas's usage, hurt a bunch of other guys' usage, and Avery Bradley didn't even do that great himself. So he's a dream killer for me on this slate. Saric, take careful note of what Philly is doing. Philly, remember, this time of year, I am starting to target more and more teams that have something to play for because it's getting harder and harder to figure out how many minutes guys from tanking teams and teams out of playoff contention are going to get. So you saw, look at what Philly did. They basically, and Sacramento on this slate, both of those guys played everyone on the roster. And played them a ton of minutes. Philly played 10 guys, and 9 of them got between like 18 and 31 minutes. So Saric, who was a beast like a week and a half ago, lately has not been getting it done. In this slate, he had 9 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. Hopefully his price will come down. Maybe he can have one or two more, big games. But certainly if you're playing cash games, you can't pay up for a guy like Saric right now. A guy who crushed me was Skal Labissiere. I always forget how to pronounce his last name. Talented big man for Sacramento. This mother effer, he fouls out in 19 minutes. How do you foul out in 19 freaking minutes? And he was off to a good start. It just, Jesus Christ. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know what I just can't comment. I only saw 2 of the fouls, and it's just stupid fouls, and that's what young players can do. You saw us a lot if you watch, earlier in the year, Nurkic and Jokic, both those guys were fouling everyone. Kyle O'Quinn. There's certain guys who just can't ever stop fouling people. Hopefully he'll learn, but he just could not put. Some of it was lazy too. It wasn't moving his feet anyway. So if you played him, Obviously, he was super cheap, but even at his salary, 19 minutes, that's not gonna that's not gonna be enough. He was super chalky too. It was like 40% owned or something on FanDuel. I mentioned the Sacramento Kings. Their entire rotation was an absolute mess. They played 9 guys. So Philly played 10 guys, and 9 guys got between 18 and 31 minutes. The Kings was basically the same. 9 guys got between 19 and 33 minutes. Only guy who got over 30 was Willie Cauley-Stein. It was a travesty. It was disgusting. It was sickening. Now they did win the game. They're trying to lose, and they still win. They won the game. They beat the baby Clippers. And the Clippers were up like 18 late in the fourth, or like the middle of the fourth quarter. How the Clippers are so disgusting. Man, and they're such babies. I root for them to lose every game. But that entire game was a debacle. I don't think anyone from either side hit value. I think Chris Paul was like somewhat close, maybe DeAndre Jordan. But other than that, both sides, it was a massacre. And also the pace of that game was just brutal. So if you tried to play anyone from that game, probably didn't work out. Although I did see Chris Paul in some decent lineups. The Lakers, how about the Lakers, huh? Lakers scored 81 points as a team. And that entire Portland Lakers game ended up being a waste. Portland only put up 98 points. It was like, I think at halftime, it was like 46, 43, something. It was something really insane. Lakers are the second worst defensive team in the league. You can make a case they're the worst. So, Portland still blew them out, but why that game was so low scoring, I'm not really sure. Portland has played a lot of games lately, so maybe it's that. Also, Portland's battling for the 8 seed, so maybe they're starting to lock down defensively, slowing the pace down for to give Damian Lillard some rest. I'm not really sure. Really, that game, no one really hit value for that game either. I mean, Lillard got somewhat close, but he's super expensive now. Lillard's been great since All-Star break, but everyone for the Lakers was a mess. Fat gravy juice. Randall was horrible. Clarkson got a ton of minutes. I think Ingram sat this game out. It was just a horrible game. Also, another really bad game. Another dream killer game. The Pelicans destroyed Denver, and the Pelicans didn't have Cousins. How that happens, don't know. The Pelicans can't beat anyone when they have AD and Cousins playing together. Take Cousins out, all of a sudden, and Denver's playing for the 8 seed. So it's a bad loss for Denver. Basically, everyone put up a dud from that game. Tim Frazier was okay. He played 36 minutes, 11 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds. And I think Anthony Davis had over 50 DraftKings or 50 FanDuel points. But still, I mean, without Cousins, you're hoping for more. And I don't think anyone from Denver, if you tried to play like a Jokic or a guy like that, it was just brutal. Patrick Beverley, a lot of the role players in OKC, Houston, which obviously built up as the MVP battle between Harden and Westbrook. That game, it was a weird game too. Watching that, after the third quarter, Houston was up huge, and then OKC made a pretty nice run to get it somewhat competitive in the fourth quarter. Like I was surprised Westbrook even came back in the game in the fourth quarter, but he did and made it somewhat close. But there were a lot of the role players from that game put up big numbers, and then actually Westbrook, I think he was in some winning lineups. Westbrook had like 66 FanDuel points. James Harden was too busy eating Cheetos, only had about 40 FanDuel points, not nearly enough at his price tag. But Patrick Beverley was a dream killer if you tried to play him. 7 FanDuel points, 7, pretty disgusting in 28 minutes. Dragic, only 19 FanDuel points. Miami, a bad loss. Although Boston's a good team, but Miami's basically tied with the Bulls now for the final playoff spot. Dragic though was really bad on this slate. I think Tyler Johnson went nuts, and James Johnson went nuts. James Johnson is one guy I just can never get right. But Dragic was bad. Not only 19 FanDuel points. Thaddeus Young, this guy's a corpse. He really is. I don't know what the hell has happened to him. I mean, dear God, he played 13 minutes. The only thing I can imagine, either he's literally become Benjamin Button, and he's aging at a pace that we've never seen before, or his wrist is still really, really injured, and he shouldn't be out on the court because he started and got 13 minutes. He's unplayable right now. All right, Dream Lovers. There were some Dream Lovers as well. Not a lot, and quite honestly, if your player basically hit value, he was a Dream Lover on this slate. So Rondo was extraordinary though. Rondo had over 40 FanDuel points. He's been somewhat consistently in the Dream Lover categories. Since he's starting for the Bulls, and since Wade went down, especially since Wade went down. The more I think about it, I'm pretty sure Rondo paid. I can't remember what player ended up whacking Wade on the wrist, but I'm pretty sure Rondo paid that player. Rondo never liked Wade, and if you go back and look at their history, when Rondo was on Boston and Wade was on Miami, I think it was one playoff series where Wade did something to Rondo. Of course, the Boston fans said it was dirty. I wasn't sure if it was dirty, but Wade injured him, so Rondo was out. I think it was out for the entire playoff series. Anyway, Rondo was great though. 18 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, one steal, over 40 Fanduel points. So his price is going up, but he's still been terrific. And then a lot of peripheral guys from this Houston OKC game. Lou Williams went nuts. Ryan Anderson, who's been a disaster for like the last 2 months, was out. So Eric Gordon got the start. And it also meant Lou Williams was going to get more minutes. And this is something that all of us need to be considering. This happened over the weekend too, when I think Shumpert was ruled out. And of course, everyone immediately started asking questions about J.R. Smith. And I think so yes, J.R. Smith was in play for that slate. Of course, J.R. Smith ended up putting up a dud and letting us down, taking 6 shots in 31 minutes and making me throw my freaking gavel. But that's fine to think who's going to benefit the most, right? But everyone knows that. So what I was trying to find out who are some secondary benefits from Shumpert being out. So I thought maybe a Kyle Korver is going to get some more minutes, or a guy like that. And remember, as a tournament player, don't always just think of don't take the easy way out. Who's starting for Shumpert? J.R. Smith. Like you try to think like 1 or 2 steps further. To take down a tournament. That's you got to engage, and you got to think differently than other people. If everyone is thinking the same way, it's hard to win a tournament that way. If everyone's on the same player, that's usually not a good sign. And let's say J.R. Smith did go off that night, you wouldn't be alone. Now I think was only like 15% owned, but still. Now if Kyle Korver, he would have been 3% owned, something like that. I think they both sucked, so it didn't really matter. But remember, try to think like 2 steps ahead, not only of the initial, the main beneficiary. Think of the secondary benefits. That's the word I'm looking for. So Ariza, go figure this bum. He's dirt cheap. And by the way, Lou Williams is dirt cheap too, because Lou Williams has not been good for a while either. Ariza was great. 24 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. Oh no, 3 is what am I? I can't even read what the hell I wrote. 3 blocks, 2 steals, something like that. Whatever. But he had over 40 Fanduel points as well. It was 8 times his salary. Monster line, and a lot, and that's another strategy that something that I've been using a lot this year, especially in like a lot of the Denver games. I have not been playing Jokic. He's just too expensive. But if you can get a Denver playing at like a 240 over/under, anyone in any Denver game lately, they've all been high over/unders. It seems like you can get a lot of the and especially when Denver was banged up, you can get a lot of their peripheral pieces at relative bargains. And to me, in games with high over/unders, it makes sense to attack the lower price guys on most slates. So Lou Will, Ariza, they both had really good games. Another guy, now not a fast paced game, but another low price guy, a Magic Mountain guy. He actually could be the Magic Mountain captain, especially the last couple of weeks. That's Mirotic, went nuts. 28 points, 8 rebounds. If you tell me when he's going to go off, you're lying, because you don't. No one does. When he decides to make shots, it's an absolute freaking enigma. I think at some point he was like 9 of 11 from the field on Sunday. He couldn't miss. He's shooting so bad this year. So, but the last week, again, he's getting a lot more minutes now. With Wade out, they need scoring. Obviously, Rondo's been doing a good job scoring, but they need other guys to step up and score. So Mirotic is getting all the shots in the world, and the Bulls do need him to score. So he's taking advantage of it. Miles Turner, Dream Lover. Who do we like to attack? Indiana played Philly. Who do we attack for Philly? Everyone takes advantage of Philly centers except Brook Lopez. Was that this weekend? I don't remember. No, except Robin Lopez. I think Robin Lopez, when the Bulls had a bad loss to Philly over the weekend, and Robin freaking Lopez played like 18 minutes. Go figure. Yeah. Anyway, Miles Turner, he destroyed Philly. Okafor, no Okafor, doesn't matter. I know a lot of us like Holmes, and I think I like Holmes too. For Philly, I think he is a much better player than Okafor, but defensively he still struggles. And when Turner plays well. He's a nightmare to defend. He's super athletic, gets out on the perimeter, and he had a good game. 17 points, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. It was tremendous. Over 40 Fandom points. James Johnson, the sneaky ninja. Not sneaky, but he's an actual ninja. He's an actual black belt. And I think I saw him do an interview on the Dan Levitard show. He said he can do like a roundhouse kick, and basically touch like the backboard with his foot, which is how that's possible. I don't know, but that's pretty amazing. But it's one guy this year I can never get right. But he went nuts. 20 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. The Miami-Boston game actually had a good pace, and he took advantage of it. That's when he excels. He's super athletic. He's a ninja, for gosh darn it. So obviously in a fast-paced game, he's going to excel. And the pace was faster than expected, and he had a good game. Enes Kanter was good. Scissorhands Steven Adams sucks. Basically, Adams has been playing so bad. He's getting like 24 minutes. Him and Kanter basically splitting time right now. And Kanter comes in and smashes every night. And Steven Adams stands on the court like an absolute buffoon and a dope and a mope. Stands in a corner, sets picks, boxes out his guy, doesn't even go for rebounds. He's not even near the ball for rebounds. It's just painful to watch Steven Adams. I mentioned Westbrook. He was like 66 Fandom points. He was good. Klay Thompson. I mean, the Golden State beat Memphis. That game sucked because, of course, it did. Golden State ruins DFS. But Klay was one of the only guys who hit value. I think Marc Gasol was out. I think Conley was okay for that game. Maybe Zebo was okay. But Klay has been shooting the lights out. If you haven't been paying attention, the thing about Klay is even though he's shooting the lights out, he's become a one-trick pony as well. And I mean, he's always been scoring dependent. So, but he's been more so. It seems like to me lately. And so, I mean, even though he may have had like 30 actual points or whatever he had, it probably was right around, probably 33 Fandom points, something like that. So it's just weird. I don't know how if you're playing 30 minutes, you can't get a couple boards, couple steals, couple assists. It just certain guys just don't do that. All right, let's hop into the slate for Monday. And this is weird. It's only a 6-game slate, so it's a small slate for Monday. And man, pick a team that you hate, and they're probably playing on this slate. So that kind of makes me like the slate more. But it's going to be tricky for sure, and it's going to be a test to see how skilled of a player you are in DFS. Let's go over injury news. Jeff Green, who cares? Although my dad is named Jeff Green, so how about that? Damari Carroll, sore back. I think he was a late scratch on Friday or Saturday, and then PJ Tucker came in and got some decent minutes. He seems to get extended minutes when Carroll is out. And PJ Tucker, I mean, you gotta like him, right? He's captain of the stumble, bumble, and fumble team. Carmelo is questionable with a sore knee. There's no reason for him to play another game for the Knicks. Shumpert, questionable with the right knee. J.R. Smith is in play. I mean, he sucked on Saturday, but he's in play. I was watching that entire Cleveland game. If you're J.R. Smith and you take why play him if he's going to take 6 shots? There's zero reason for him to be on the court. And don't tweet me that spacing is the reason he's on the court. Yes, that is the answer, and that's what the coach would tell you. But shoot the damn ball. Shoot the ball. Jesus, 6 shots. I mean, PJ Tucker got more shots than that on Saturday. I think PJ got 8. Marc Gasol still questionable with the foot. So obviously, if he's out, Zebo and Conley, maybe JaMychal Green. Gordon Hayward, this is somewhat of a big one, even though playing Utah guys is always a battle to figure out what the hell they're going to do. But he had like a weird left quad injury, like late in the game on Sunday. I think Utah had I forgot who they lose to. I thought they had a bad loss. Let me see. Did they lose? I know maybe it was Saturday. I know they lost to the Clippers, I think, on Saturday. Maybe it was Saturday he got that injury. Anyway, he's questionable. And Derek Favors hasn't played since 2012. All right, let's take a little flight to Vegas, shall we? Go into Vegas. And man, the over-unders on this slate are also disgusting. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get out. I mean, there's a long line to get on this flight. Hold on. The stewardess is letting us on the plane. Oh, we have made it. We are in Vegas. All right, so the top over/under on the board, and please be seated as I'm saying these over/unders because it really is brutal. The top over/under. Oh God, Cleveland at San Antonio. So any game where the Spurs are the highest over/under is a scary concept. Now, the one thing is this though about this game. Why I do like this game. One, obviously, you have two teams. Maybe it's a finals preview. Hopefully, both teams will be playing to win. Both teams do have something to play for. Both teams are going for the 1 seed in their respective conferences, although the Spurs probably don't care. Actually, Cleveland has shown they don't care all year. But Cleveland has been playing no defense. No defense, especially the last few months. I think it's the second worst defense in the NBA next to the Lakers the last couple months. So I have been attacking opposing teams for whoever's playing Cleveland for a long time now, and it's won me a lot of money. And there's no reason to change that strategy on Monday. Now it's a little harder because God only knows who the hell is going to even play for San Antonio, who's going to get the minutes. But we do know obviously Kawhi, and I especially like attacking LeBron. So Kawhi is in an elite spot on this slate. LaMarcus Aldridge. Kawhi, I mean, ever since he's came back from this irregular heartbeat, his usage rate has gone through the roof. So he's a really good play. So I really love him in Kawhi. Tony Parker's been somewhat good lately, which is what the hell this is about. Maybe he took some steroids, but he's dirt cheap at like 4.1K. So, I think he played like 30 minutes a couple of games ago, which for him is a miracle. I don't think he's done that all year. So there's some guys on both sides. This is a nice little game to stack. OKC Dallas. OKC's on a back-to-back. OKC's still playing for seeding though. 206 over/under. Not a horrible game, although again, obviously we don't like Dallas. The pace of Dallas is horrifying. Although since they traded Darren Williams, it has gotten a little bit better. Orlando Magic at Toronto, 206. I hate Orlando. Hate everything about Orlando. Everyone on their team. I mean, Orlando and Detroit. And we'll get to them. Detroit playing it. Of course, Detroit's on this slate too. I mean, Orlando. The entire starting five. Peyton, Fournier, Ross, Gordon, Vucevic, all those guys. Who the hell knows? But they're all cheap. They're all still getting relatively decent minutes, even though Orlando has nothing to play for. So on this slate, they're all in play. In Toronto, whatever. Toronto is a 9-point favorite, by the way, so that's the only game so far on the board that could be a potential blowout. Then you have 3 games where there's no spreads yet. Detroit, Knicks, because we're waiting for Melo news. Memphis, Sacramento, because we're waiting for Gasol news, and then New Orleans, Utah, because we're waiting for Cousins. I think Cousins is still questionable. I don't know if I even mentioned him. And we're waiting for Gordon Hayward news. So, but all 3 of those games stink as well in terms of pace. Detroit, New York, I mean, oh my God. Now, the Knicks play no defense, but there's been no more infuriating team in the world than the Pistons in the last few weeks, maybe last month. Dear God, man, just thinking about the Pistons, the Reggie Jackson, you have Tobias, Marcus Morris, KCP, John Lure, Sleepy Drummond, all those guys. I mean, that is just scary, just horrifying just to think of who to play for that team. So when talk about games that that my favorite games, the more and more I think about it, this Cleveland San Antonio game, the juicier that game appears to be. And on this slate, man, if you can lock in guys who are going to get 35 plus minutes, like that's going to be super important. I think obviously it's important every night, but on this slate especially because look at a lot of these teams, God only knows who they're going to put on the court. Like Sacramento, who the hell is going to play for them? I mean, we have no idea. And to make things worse, I love 3 things. I love the bailiff, usage, and pace. There's really no teams playing up in pace, at least that I want to attack. I mean, Dallas a little bit against OKC, Utah a little bit against the Pelicans, and Detroit a little bit against the Knicks, but not a significant margin in terms of when you take projected pace into account. So man, this slate is going to be dicey. I'm like sweating right now just thinking about who to play. All right, let's top and hop. Hop in to the top plays at each position. All right. Ooh, this is man. Some positions it gets ugly fast. And point guard, as always, do we play Westbrook or not? On smaller slates, he tends to make more of my lineups just because, again, there's something for getting a guy who's going to play 35 plus minutes, and there's something for just getting a guy who's going to give you a nice, delicious floor of what does Westbrook have? A floor of 50, even against Dallas. So I'm trying to look at the last time he played Dallas was March 5th. He had 48 FanDuel points. Now, on a 10-game slate, would that be enough? No, it would not be to win a tournament. On this slate, would that be enough? I'm not sure. Maybe not, but I still think you probably could cash if Westbrook gives you like 50. So obviously he's priced $13K. He needs to give you like 65, probably somewhere in there. But still on this slate, totally fine. Obviously, you prefer to get him up in pace, but I mean, if you put him in your lineup on FanDuel, you have 5.8K left for your remaining 8 players. If I play 10 lineups, he'd probably be in, I'd say 5. Although the more and more that I do the deeper analytical research on playing Westbrook, he's like in. And I forgot I was looking at the exact percentage of days that he's been in the winning lineups. And it was a little bit lower than I expected, but it did correlate with the larger the slate, the higher the likelihood he was not going to be in the winning lineup. So like I'm right on the fence. Although I do like having his guaranteed 50 FanDuel points though, or DraftKings points. Other than that, Kyrie Irving, he's overpriced. He's 9.1K. So at least on FanDuel, so he's got to give us 45 FanDuel points. And remember, Kevin Love is back, and with Kevin Love back, who takes the biggest usage hit? It's Kyrie. So it should be a good game. Yeah, you can attack the Spurs guards. I don't love the play though. I think there's some cheaper point guards that I probably would play. Although if I'm going to stack this game though, and I'm definitely going to play him a little bit. But I wish he was. I think on DraftKings his price is a little bit better. On DraftKings he is 7.9K. Now that's a much fairer price because DraftKings, the people running that site have brains. So obviously DraftKings close to a lock and load on DraftKings. Mike Conley 7.9K. So I don't love this Memphis Sacramento game. I don't like the fact it's a back-to-back. But Memphis, I think they're still battling for some playoff seeding. And if Marc Gasol is out, like Conley played 37 minutes against Golden State and had 35 FanDuel points. So on this slate, if Gasol's out, that's probably about his floor, I would think. Now, I guess you could say you're worried a little bit about Memphis blowing out Sacramento, but Memphis stinks. If you watch Memphis play, God, they have no talent. Like I would tell you honestly, I mean this. Sacramento has more talent than Memphis. Memphis has Conley and Gasol, and that's it. So you take Gasol out, you're left with 400-pound, 37-year-old Zach Randolph, 85-year-old Tony Allen. I mean, who else you got? 72-year-old Vince Carter. You got a bunch of bums and Conley. And Conley's a good basketball player. He's not elite, but he's their best player by far. So, man, Conley's a really good play on this list, especially if Marc Gasol's out. And if Marc Gasol's playing, he's somewhat of a sneaky play. Drew Holiday. So I don't really want to use a lot of Pelicans on this slate against Utah. But if Cousins is out, then I like Holiday. So it's going to hinge probably for me if Cousins is playing. Elfrid Payton, 7.1K against Toronto. He's still a tournament-only play for me. He's the one Orlando guy who's been like relatively consistent, though. Even when Orlando gets blown out or he doesn't get big minutes. I mean, against Detroit, he played 29 minutes in the Magic Mountain Marathon that took place on Friday or Saturday. When Detroit played Orlando, he only played 29 minutes. I think Orlando blew out the Pistons, and he had triple-double. He had 39 FanDuel points. 3 out of the last 4 games, he's been over 33 FanDuel points. And he can could he be in the winning GPP lineup? Yep. And because Lowry's out, he gets Corey Joseph defense. So Peyton's an elite tournament play on this slate. Like, man, I mean, I love him. I don't love him, but it's a good play. George Hill, this guy never makes my lineups. Whatever. 7 FanDuel points last game against Clippers. I just don't see a high ceiling. The reason I will play, if I have 10 lineups, I'd play him in one, is strictly ownership, and you can attack Pelicans guards. Drew Holiday's defense to me is a little bit overrated. Derrick Rose. So this will hinge on Melo. Now, I don't know why they still play Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was good on I think it was Saturday night. He played without Melo. He played 36 minutes against San Antonio. The Knicks kept it somewhat close, and he had 37 Fandle points. That's the most Fandle points Rose has had since February 15th. So like in a month and a half. Now, obviously, without Melo, the usage skyrockets. I mean, God forbid he could pass the ball to Porzingis. As long as he's playing, he will never pass the ball, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. So as much as I hate to say it, if Melo's out, I'm fine with it. Now, just know this going in. There's risk with this play. It's not a lock. If I've seen him, I've played him nights when Melo's been out, when Porzingis has been out, and he gets benched for no reason. No, there's a reason because he sucks. He still thinks it's 2012 that he's an MVP, and he thinks it's the NBA is still like an isolation oriented league, and it's not. So if he gets benched for Ron Burgundy Baker at any given moment, or Holiday or anyone, it would not surprise me. But tournament play, you could make an argument he's a cash game play if Melo's out. Although the minutes, remember, the Knicks have nothing to play for. They need to lose games. Corey Joseph. I don't mind this play, 4.8K. I continue to play this guy in cash games, and I continue to win in cash. Actually, the last week or so in tournaments for me has not been great. But man, I've been on a cash game domination streak by using safe guys who have just been safe for me. I mean, Corey Joseph has been safe. Everyone sleeps on him, but he'll find a way to bumble and stumble like around 20 Fandle points. And for a cash game play, he's fine. Now, does he have the ceiling for tournaments? I don't know, but Elfrid Payton defense stinks. So you could do worse. The problem is there are some probably better value point guards. Reggie Jackson. Look, allegedly Ish Smith is starting. The last two games Ish has started. Ish has not played well. So I've sadly watched all of these games because I used a lot of Ish. And Reggie still got over 20 minutes both those games. In the last game against Orlando, Reggie was better than Ish in my opinion. So I don't honestly, I don't know who's going to continue to play, but playing the Knicks is an elite spot. So I want some Ish Smith on this slate, and I want some Reggie. Ish Smith is 4.5K, and Reggie's 4.6K. If you had to choose one, give me the starter, right? But Ish only played 16 freaking minutes against Orlando. 16. And he's been so bad the last two. And Detroit's getting blown out, and they're battling for an 8 speed. So wait to see who starts. But another thing to take notice of, if you're trying to take down tournaments, you cannot be afraid to play a bench player. Don't be afraid to pull the trigger on a bench guy. I'm telling you, like Reggie could still end up playing more minutes than Ish. Now playing both those guys is going to sicken us. It's going to be painful to hit the roster button on either. But it's the Knicks, man. One of those guys has to go nuts. I mentioned Tony Parker, 4.1K. He's in play on this slate. He played 30 minutes against Memphis. JJ Barea, 3.9K. He is also in play. I don't love the play for JJ Barea, but he's dirt cheap. And if he gets hot, Rick Carlisle, keeps him in. Yogi, by the way, Yogi Bear doesn't even play anymore. He gets benched. And now they're starting Seth Curry at the 1. They got JJ Barea. Devin Harris starts playing minutes again. RIP to Yogi Bear. DeMar DeRozan. Let's go shooting guard. DeMar DeRozan, 9.2K. So in 2 of the last 3 games, he's been tremendous. The usage has been off the freaking charts. So I don't like that price. But look, if you want to play DeMar DeRozan, I'm not going to argue with you one bit. He's 8.6K on DraftKings. I think he's a better play on DraftKings. But he's perfectly fine. And now remember, on this slate, I like some safety. So if I'm not going to play Westbrook at point guard, I probably will have some money to spend. So sure, I'll play DeMar DeRozan. Also, who's going to guard him for Orlando? Evan Fournier? So DeRozan's in a good spot. Wow. Then shooting guard is a mess. Oladipo, there's literally just no ceiling. He hits 30, you do a little dance because that's he can't get more than 30 Fandle points. There's just not enough touches in the game for him. Evan Fournier, 5.4K. I'm pretty sure his price has been the freaking same for the last 2 months. He just bumbles and stumbles and fumbles his way every freaking game between 20 and 30 Fandle points. So he's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. He's similar to he's become TJ McConnell. He's become makeout McConnell. If you play Evan Fournier, you're not going to have sex that night. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be a great, extraordinary, and if you do have sex, it's not going to be earth-shattering sex. It's going to be missionary sex. So at the best, it's going to be missionary sex Harrison Barnes. At the worst, it's going to be makeout McConnell, but you're not going to get, crazy, all kinds of positions, which I don't even know probably, playing Evan Fournier. It hasn't been there last, 2-3 months? So, I mean, if it comes out of nowhere, last year he had a couple 40, 50 Fandle point nights. Last time he hit 40 Fandle points was February 9th against Philly. So it's possible, but man, it's been forever. And I'm pretty sure that was without Vucevic. Buddy Hield gets Memphis, so it's a tough matchup for him. But for tournaments, you can still do it. He's been good. I'm telling you, the problem is minutes and if Tyreke Evans is going to play. If Tyreke plays, now Sacramento's on a back-to-back, and I think Tyreke did play on Sunday. So if Tyreek's out, then, and maybe Lawson's out, or if they rest guys, then Buddy could get over 30 minutes, and then he's going to get a lot of shots. If those guys are playing for Sacramento, the minutes, shots, usage all goes down, and then I don't want to play him at 5.4K. Seth Curry, him and Wes Matthews have just been so blah lately. I don't know what to do with either of those two guys. Honestly, give me Wes Matthews. Wes Matthews is $800 cheaper. Wes Matthews is 4.5K. Dallas guys are playing up in pace, so could I envision one of them being in a winning tournament lineup? I don't know. They seem like more cash game plays to me, or head-to-head plays if you were doing, the Judges Chambers, which was coming up on Wednesday, the Chambers Bracket Challenge. I guess Curry could explode at some point, but the usage has just been, Wes Matthews, his usage all year has been a mess. Just stands in a corner. And Seth Curry, they moved over to the point position. The problem is his usage is down. He's not making shots, and he's not really a point guard. He's not getting you assists. So it's just, I'm not really sure what the hell he's been doing on the court. You watch Dallas games, and you're like, wow, Curry got 30 minutes? I didn't even notice. Courtney Lee, the Knicks still, for whatever reason, are giving Courtney freaking Lee 40 minutes a night. I said 40. He's got over 40 minutes last two games. Why? God himself should be asking Hornacek why and asking Phil Jackson why. This guy shouldn't even be in the NBA, if you ask me, or should be a role player on some team. Why he be getting 40 minutes for a team that should be tanking? It's maddening. But he's 4.5K. Whatever. If Melo's out, you can throw him in there. KCP is now 4.4K. The last two games have been 11 and 10 Fandle points. But I will still play this bum because he has 40, 50 Fandle, maybe not 50, but he has 40 Fandle point potential. Definitely 30. And that would be, 6-7 times his salary right now. Now, Detroit has been the worst team. You can make a case of the worst team in the NBA lately. An absolute mess. But against the Knicks, yep, they're all in play. Tim Frazier also, he's in play for me on this slate. He's so cheap. Small forward LeBron, 10.9K. So to me, this is not the best slate to play LeBron. He's gonna get Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron's overpriced. So I probably would prefer to play an overpriced, maybe DeMar. Actually, I don't know if maybe DeMar. Probably pay up to get Westbrook if I'm gonna go, gonna get LeBron. But I think the ownership will stay relatively low. And look, he still can have good games against Kawhi. So another way to take down tournaments, you get a star player at a super low ownership. And then something goes weird in that game. Kawhi gets in foul trouble. Kawhi sits on the bench. LeBron goes nuts. LeBron decides he wants to dominate. Who the hell knows? So tournaments, yeah, I don't mind it, but on paper, not a great play at that price. Speaking of Kawhi, same game, better price. So he's 9.1K. Could he basically get the same number of FanDuel DraftKings points as LeBron? Sure. So give me the 1.8K in savings on FanDuel. To me, Kawhi, I can't say elite spot because I've watched the Spurs last 3-4 games. Against the Knicks, Kawhi was good. Got 47 FanDuel points. But 3 games before that, he's letting LaMarcus Aldridge shoot every time down the court, and it's been maddening. And he will be occupied a lot defensively, so some of the offensive load, maybe he doesn't take on as much in this game. Missionary Sex Harrison Barnes, 5.6K. So he actually had 40 Fandom points against Toronto. He had 23 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals. For him, that's a monstrous game. That's monstrous. It's like doggy style Harrison Barnes. He hasn't had 40 Fandom points. Wow. I don't think in 2017 before that game. So is that going to happen again? Probably not. He's probably also going to get some Roberson defense, but that price is very fair. 5.6K? I don't mind that at all, man. And I'm telling you, like, it's not going to be spectacular probably, but it's 30 Fandom points on this slate. Nothing wrong with that, man. Marcus Morris, 5K. That's a nice price for him. All these Piston guys, I know they make us sick and they hate us. They hate us. We hate them. Marcus Morris, no Pistons has been good, but it's going to happen. Some of these guys are going to turn it around. Terrence Ross, 4.2K. I keep playing this guy. He keeps winning me money. 30 Fandom points last game in only 21 minutes against Detroit. If he's making shots, he'll put up a monster line. He's 4.2K. That's so cheap. I don't mind that at all, man. PJ Tucker, more of a cash game guy. He'll stumble and bumble and fumble his way if Carroll is out. He'll find a way between 20 and 30 Fandom points. Power forward, Anthony Davis, 10.8K against Utah. Not something I really want to play. But if Cousins is out, then I probably will do it. If I have 10 lineups, I'd probably do it in probably two of them. If Cousins is playing, it's tough for me to. It may be a complete fade for me in that Utah game. Kevin Love, I'm not sure. He's still on like a somewhat of a minutes restriction, allegedly. I thought it was 28 minutes. Then he got 33 against Washington. So if he's going to get 33 minutes against the Spurs at 7.6K, which is a very fair price, he's in play for me. Maybe Cleveland's going to go all out, try to win this game. I don't mind that play at all. It's all about the minutes. If he gets 30 plus minutes, he'll be fine, man. If he's making his shots, he'll get you 40, 45 Fandom points. LaMarcus Aldridge. If you want Love and Aldridge to be your two power forwards in this slate, don't mind that one bit, man. Both those guys are in good spots. Both those guys are going to be hard to guard each other. Aldridge has been great. He's been under the radar. He's been a consistency monster. It's now 5 straight games. Wait, is it 6? 6 straight games since he's come back from this heartbeat thing. I don't know what kind of heart medication he's on. But he's like a lock for 30. His floor is like 35, 30 Fandom points right now. And he's a supremely skilled player. Plus, if Kawhi's expending a lot of energy guarding LeBron, it's hard to say he's like a cash head-to-head game player, but he is right now. And he's fine for tournaments too at that price. Porzingis, there's so many rumors and stuff going on in the New York media, but they should shut Porzingis down for the rest of the season. I don't know if he's dealing with injuries, if he's just tired. He's been a mess on the court. He's been somewhat okay, like 3 of the last 4 games. And obviously, if Melo's out, you gotta probably play him in a couple lineups. Pistons not a great game for if you're a Knicks guy because he's playing down in pace, but I keep waiting for him to have this breakout 50 Fandom point night. You would think if it's going to happen, it would happen. I was hoping that they'd also shut Rose down. They haven't done that yet. But if Melo's out, Porzingis is fine to play. He really is. He's just been so frustrating. Dirk is some. I don't ever play him. Although I said the same thing about Iguodala, and then Iguodala puts up monster nights every night now. It seems like. If you want to play Dirk, go ahead. Enes Kanter. Tournaments only, but it's fine. I mean, Dallas does struggle to rebound the ball. Cantor's instant offense. He's not going to get a lot of minutes, but really his minutes are somewhat irrelevant. He only needs 24 minutes to basically give you 24 to 30 Fandom points. Cantor's a guy that I'm not a huge fan of playing, but I wish his price was a little bit lower. But it's fine. Serge Ibaka. I don't know. Ugh, God, whatever. I honestly, I don't even want to talk about Serge Ibaka. He's so boring to watch play. He does nothing. He's fine. Just if you want to play him, there's some really freaking bad games. Just talking about these games putting me to sleep. Now this could be whoever hosted that podcast and fell asleep on the air. If they're talking about this slate, then it would make some sense. Orlando, Toronto, Detroit, New York, Memphis, Sacramento, New Orleans, Utah. These games suck. God. But when we take down a tournament, it will be glorious. It'll be our favorite slate of all. Tobias Harris, all these Detroit guys, man. Which one's going to go off? Obviously, Tobias would probably be one of my favorite ones if I had to choose one of them. His usage rate has been like the highest lately for Pistons, so he's in a good spot. Although Porzingis, somewhat of a sneaky good defender, but Tobias totally fine for tournaments. Zebo, if Gasol's out, Zebo at 5.2K, sign me up. Played 29 minutes against Golden State at 29 Fandom points. So, yep, if Gasol's out, he's definitely in play. If you want to go back to the lab with Scal Labissiere, fouled out in 19 minutes on Sunday, at least he'll be fresh, right? He's been good. I mean, he has an upside over 40 Fandom points. So, the guy's just a freak athletically. So, I don't like the game Memphis Sacramento, but I'll play some Scal tournaments. Oh, look at JaMychal Green just staring at me. He's in play. If Gasol's out, he'll get close to 30 minutes. So JaMychal Green, 4.1K. Don't mind that at all. All right, center. Rudy Gobert, 8.7K. He's been the one Utah guy who's been crushing lately. Floor is like 40 Fandom points right now. He's got 60 in the last week, over 50 a couple times. So the price has come up. 8.7K is not cheap. All the Pelicans have struggled to rebound all year long. So I don't even care if Cousins plays, if he doesn't play. Utah is fighting for the 4 seed, home court advantage. Gobert, he's just such a safe play right now. Not sexy, but safe. Vucevic, not nearly as safe as Gobert, but he's relatively safe. Him and Peyton are the two Orlando guys who have been relatively good the last couple of weeks. So no issues playing him whatsoever, 8.2K. Plus, Toronto's going to play. They don't play Valanciunas, so they'll play Ibaka a lot at the 5. Vucevic's too big for him and too fast, too quick. Sleepy Drummond. Man, trying to find the game when Drummond will be awake is just impossible. The price is very fair, 7.6K. He hasn't had a monster game in forever, but, he hasn't been terrible either, as much as I make fun of him. The problem is he doesn't get big minutes. He gets 30 around. If he gets 30 minutes, that's a big night for him. And then every blue moon he'll get like 36 minutes. Against the Knicks, though, we attack Knicks centers. You guys know that. I know that. So do we have to play Drummond in this slate? Yes, we have to freaking play him. We don't like it, but we do. We have to play Drummond, and we will. Will he let us down? Probably. But it's an elite spot for him. Nerlens Noel, man, he crushed me on Saturday night. Wow, against Toronto with 25 minutes, 13 Fandom points. Just did nothing. Which is so disappointing. He was so cheap on DraftKings. But 5.9K. Hey, man, on this slate, I need ways to differentiate my lineups from everyone else. I look for 2 to 3 guys in every lineup I build, less than 10% owned. Nerlens Noel, that's one of those guys in center. So you can play him. Hernan Gomez, 5.1K for the Knicks. Hard guy to figure out. The minutes, he's been like 21, 17, 17, 19, and then all of a sudden against the Spurs, he gets 36 minutes out of the blue and then puts up 44 Fandom points. And that's why DFS will make you want to kill yourself some nights. Guys who you've been playing in good spots just don't come through, and then they get a bad matchup. The minutes aren't certain, and they bust out. And it's frustrating. But Hernan Gomez's price is fair, 5.1K, and he gets Sleepy Drummond defensively. He's in a good spot. Very fair price. I don't trust it for cash games. I mean, God only knows who the hell is going to get minutes. But he's fine for tournaments. Also, I should mention the Kuzminskis for the Knicks. If Melo's out, he's going to start and get like 35 minutes. He was like 24, 27 Fandom points the last 2 games. Against the Pistons, he'll be fine. Small forward, he can be fine for all formats if Carmelo's out. Our other centers, Valanciunas. My two favorite players / 2 guys who basically, one of them I think is the devil, Steven Adams, because I just keep trying to force it, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't freaking work. And then Valanciunas, Casey just hates him with such vigor. To the day I die, I will not. Honestly, I have a list of like 10 questions I want to ask God before I die, or when I die, one of the first questions I ask, I'm at the pearly gates, or I'm in purgatory, or I'm in hell, wherever I get to go. I'm not sure which one I'll be at. One of my first questions will be, why? What did Valanciunas do? Why does Casey hate him? I don't know. He's 5.1K. He never gets minutes ever. 22 against Dallas. Man, I'm looking at his game logs. It makes me cry. He's almost unplayable. I play him in one lineup just because I feel it's my mandatory obligation to play him in one lineup. But and he's getting Vucevic defense. So on paper, he's in a great spot. But like literally, Casey would have to get ejected, and someone else would have to coach that team for him to get minutes, or something crazy would have to happen for him to smash value. Steven Adams, 4.9K. I don't know what the hell to do with him. Same thing. I'm playing him and Valanciunas both in one lineup. They both do have upside if they get minutes, and at least Adams has a chance that can happen. Dallas does struggle rebounding. I'm pretty sure these teams just played, though. They did. I thought they did. I guess it was a couple weeks ago. Steven Adams had 27 Fanduel points. At his price, that's close to like 6 times his salary now. So that would be excellent if you could do that. That's about it. All right, that's it. That's the slate. For a Monday slate, this is a painful. But look, hey, they're still having contests, right? They're still giving out money. Damn right they are. So let's take advantage. Let's make some freaking money. Let's win glory. I've had some of my best nights on some of the worst freaking slates on paper. So let's take advantage. All right, that's it. It's 5:48 in the morning. I am exhausted. Woo. Any questions, regarding the head-to-head Chambers brackets, Chambers in general, the website, consultations, whatever else, feel free to tweet at me at Daniel A. Green 1, or you can email me via the new website. I think there's a contact me spot on there. It's so late, I can't even see straight anymore, talk straight. So I got to end the show. All right, that's it. Hopefully you had a glorious weekend. It's Monday, but a new week is here. New money to be made. Where's my gavel? For the bailiff, for the judge, court is adjourned.